Hello everyone, welcome to the video. I'm going to show you guys basically everything you need to know about Robinhood, what happens when you first set it up, what the features are, and how to trade and sell stocks basically. So this video is intended for if you're brand new to stocks, brand new to setting up Robinhood, and you don't really know what to do and you just need some guidance. So I'll give you like a comprehensive overview of what to do, what certain features do and what they don't do, and what you shouldn't do, pretty much. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is obviously you want to download Robinhood. So go ahead and do that from your phone, or if you have a friend that's already using Robinhood, make sure that they give you a referral link. And if you don't have a friend that is using stocks, don't worry, I'll add a referral link in the description so you can use my referral link. It's actually better to use the referral link. That way when you sign up, both you and I will get 2 stocks, I believe, just for like the referral. So that way you go ahead and sign up and you already have some stocks right away. And if you do it, because if you do it through like the regular way, then you don't get any stocks, I believe. You just sign up regularly and nothing happens. So definitely use a referral link if you can. Okay, so when you're signing up, it's basically like signing up, or when you go to a bank and start your own bank account and a new like a checking account or something. So what they're gonna ask you is just your information, kind of like where you live and all that stuff. So they just want to make sure that you're like a real person, and they also want to make sure that you're not creating duplicate accounts. So this process may take a while. I remember the first time I did it, it actually took like 2 weeks or so, but I think Robinhood has improved the process. So I know some people that I referred Robinhood to, they've got up and running like within like a day or so. So it might just happen right away. So if you set up Robinhood, don't worry, let the process run, and then they'll let you know once you're good to go. Alright, so let's talk about the 5 features of Robinhood real quick before I go about explaining how to deposit money and where to go and do that. So let's talk about the 5 features, which are basically the features or the buttons that you see at the very bottom. So those 5 features are basically the main things you need to worry about, and like the only things that you will actually be pressing for the majority of the time. So the first feature is basically your account overview, which basically will show, like in my case, it shows me like my overall overview of my portfolio, how much money I have, how much money I've had like a year ago, 3 months ago, a week ago, today, stuff like that. It's another place where you would see all the stocks that you currently own. It also shows any options that you own, but if you're a newbie, don't worry about options. You should do options probably later on after you get comfortable using the app and everything. And anyway, so also in the same place, that's where you see certain lists, so kind of like popular stocks and stuff like that. You could even create your own list and add whatever stocks you want to keep an eye on within those lists. So that's basically the main overview of this first page. Alright, so if you click on the next button, it basically shows you your if you have a Robinhood credit card or debit card, I should say, you could set that up, and then here's where you'll see the money that you have and what you're using with that card. So if you want to be cool and just get a Robinhood debit card so you can use this as basically another debit card separate from your main bank, go ahead and do so, and then this is where you would see all the transactions and stuff like that for that card. Okay, so the middle button, the magnifying glass, is basically how you search for stocks. So if you go ahead and click on that, and then for example you can go on the top and search for Apple. If you know the ticker symbols, or if you don't know what a ticker symbol is, that basically just means it's like the abbreviation of the actual stock. So for example, Apple would be APPL. So if you know a ticker symbol, that's just a faster way of searching for a company and then searching for the stock, and so on. Alright, so the 4th button is basically your messages, and or all notifications will basically be right here. So anytime Robinhood sends you any notifications of like whether you're depositing money or taking out money, stuff like that, it will be right here. Also, when you buy and sell stocks, they would also show up right here. So this is the notifications view. Alright, so the last button is basically your account overview. So if you click on that, that basically shows you like your overview of what stocks you have, options, ETFs, all that information. So where you actually want to get to is if you click on that top right icon, the little sandwich icon, that will take you kind of like to the back end where you can see more features like transfers and statements and stuff like that. So what you want to do is you want to go and click on the investing, which is the top, and then from there it kind of gives you a high level overview of like your buying power, and you can even click on deposit funds from there and stuff like that. So you're probably asking yourself, okay, what is this instant access and why does it show like $1,000 instant access? So if you just started off, that's what it should show, unless if it's 500. I can't remember what it is when you start off, but I believe it's 1,000. So basically what this means is if you wanted to invest $2,000, you take $2,000 from your bank and you transfer it over to Robinhood. Now during that time while it's transferring, because transferring funds could take like 3 days, it could take like a week. So during that time while you're waiting for funds to transfer over, you could actually buy stocks in the meantime. So Robinhood will give you up to $1,000 for you to use while your funds are being transferred over. That way you waste no time and you go ahead and start buying stocks. So once your funds have fully come over, then you would get a notification that your funds have fully transferred, and then at that time you should see an additional $1,000 in your buying power section. So just to recap, the first time you transfer over $2,000, Robinhood will give you $1,000 as instant access. So you would see $1,000 in your buying power location. Buying power just basically means how much money you have right now to use to buy stocks. So if you, on the first day of transferring your $2,000, if you use $1,000 to buy stocks, then your buying power will be 0. And only until your funds have fully transferred, then you would see an additional $1,000 pop up on your buying power, and then you can use that $1,000 again to go ahead and buy additional stocks. All right, so let's see what buying your first share would look like. So let's say you are interested in buying 1 share of Apple. So what you do is you click on the magnifying glass, you search for Apple, you click on Apple, and then right there on the bottom right, you should see a little button that says trade. So you click on trade. If you have shares already, you would actually see 2 options. You would see buy and sell. But because you don't have any shares of Apple, you should only see buy. So what you want to do is you click on buy. Now here there's 5 things that you should pay attention to. So the first thing that you should pay attention to is your available amount of money that you have, which is basically your buying power. So it should tell you right there how much money you have available to buy shares. So the second thing that's really important here is the number of shares that you want to buy. So in this case, we're gonna buy 1 share. So you go ahead and put in 1. Now the third thing that you wanna watch out for is the market price. So the market price, right now the stock market is closed. However, if you were doing this when the stock market is open, and the stock market is open between 9:30 a.m. and I believe it's 4 p.m. on Eastern time, because I'm in the west side, so it's different hours, but just keep in mind of when the stock market is open. So because the stock market is closed right now, you see the market price already set, is not moving at all. However, if you're doing this when the stock market is open, then that market price will be going up and down, like preferably up, but it'll be going up and down like crazy. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, so then the last or the fourth thing that you want to look out for is for the estimated cost. So in this case, if you want to buy 1 share, it would tell you right there estimated cost is $136 and so that's basically like it will show you pretty much like what you're paying for. So the other thing that you want to keep in mind for is the thing on the top right. you want to make sure that this is in shares and not in dollars. You might not even have this option if you first start this off, but just keep in mind that you want to be buying shares. You don't want to be buying in dollars, which is like a whole other topic. So for this video, just stick to shares. Okay, so in order to actually execute this, you will click on review, and then it would tell you right there basically what you're buying for, how many shares, how much it's gonna cost. And in order to execute this, all you have to do is swipe up, and then boom, you would see it that your order has been placed. If this is during market hours, then it would most likely execute right away. And then when you go to your messages feature or tab or whatever you want to call it, you should see it there that it should tell you that, hey, this has been placed or this has been executed, and then you should see the number of shares show up on your first feature, where it shows your overall chart and your the stocks that you own and all that stuff. So there you go. That's how you buy shares. Now, selling shares is very similar. If you already own the shares and let's say you don't want Apple anymore, you just click on it, click on trade, and then click on sell. And then very similar, you just put in how many number of shares that you want to sell. You click on review, and then you swipe up, and then you go ahead and sell it. Preferably you want to sell it at a higher price than when you bought it at. And there you go. That's basically a overview of Robinhood and how to buy and sell shares, and very, very basic understanding of what to do. Now, a couple of things that I want to tell newbies is preferably stick to long-term investing. Probably set aside like a budget amount that you can consistently invest into the stock market and buy shares. Preferably, I like to stick with tech stocks, because tech stocks have good returns over a 5-year time span. So if you look at Apple, over 5 years, it has a huge amount of return versus just putting your money into something that's even more stable, that you get lower amount of returns. But Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Tesla's actually one of my favorites. Those have really good returns, and I believe those companies will just keep growing and growing. And then, 5 years, 10 years from now, they'll be worth more than double than what they are right now. Oh, and lastly, you should watch out for the PDT rule, which is the pattern day trader rule that Robinhood has. Basically, if you have an account that has $25,000 or less, then Robinhood doesn't want you to be buying and selling the same stock in the same day more than 3 times in a week, because then they would basically tag you as a pattern day trader. So preferably you just want to buy stocks, preferably just buy stocks. You probably don't even worry about selling stocks, because if you're doing long-term investing, you just want to keep buying. Even if your stock goes down, just think of it as basically a discount price. So just buy at that time if you can. And don't try to predict the market. No one can really predict the market. So just buy consistently, and just keep averaging up or down your shares. And just by doing this strategy for long term, you should accumulate enough money over 10 years, 20 years plus, and then that's even better than having like social security or stuff like that to be dependent on, I would say, if you do this right. So that's it for today's video. If you liked the video, please give a like, please subscribe. I'll be making more videos like this for newbies and stuff like that, especially using Robinhood as giving examples and stuff. So I'll see you guys in the next video.